Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night. God damn it.
Stick 'em.
I think this movie has broken us.
Wicka. I don't fucking...
I'm still trying to comprehend what we just watched.
Go home, Will.
We are in my home, so we're in. Go home. Go home. Go home. Go home. Go home.
Okay.
So, sorry.
First of all, please don't forget to follow, like, subscribe to this podcast wherever you find us. We appreciate all of you.
YouTube, all the good stuff. We're on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere. Apple Music. Apple Podcasts. Sorry.
Google,
wherever you find podcasts, we're on there.
Let us, if there's anywhere we're not, let us know. If you have any, recommendations for us, let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're trying to build this community, so we really appreciate it. Anything you can do to kind of strengthen this community, it's going to be great. And we'll keep bringing out the content for you. And boy, howdy, do we have a fucking doozy for you today.
Our first of 84.
1984 started with a fucking bang.
Now,
this is one of those movies. I implore you, please go watch it before you listen to this review.
Okay.
Because I guarantee maybe most of you will not be like, why the fuck did they make me watch this? I just wanted to listen to the podcast. But for the select few that had the same reaction we had, where it just broke you and you just enjoyed it for what it was.
If you get it, you get it. That's all I can tell you. If you get it, if you're like us, you will get it.
The movie's called Furious.
Yeah.
No, it's not a prequel to the incredibly popular Fast and Furious movies.
No, it would be the weirdest prequel on the planet.
Okay. I mean, maybe it could be in the whole universe of the universe of family. It could be construed. No, I'm just kidding. It's not.
No, Furious is a film about family. And that's what makes it so powerful.
I mean, if you really think about it,
kind of right.
It is a movie about family. So.
And chickens.
Because the whole plot hinges on the family.
And chickens.
And chickens and a pig.
One pig.
One pig, yes.
And, magic.
And the astral plane. No, I am not kidding. This is all in the movie.
Listen, if you are insane, if you have like a fucking,
if you have a little bit
screw loose,
yeah, I was gonna say if you have a little bit of a screw loose,
please watch this.
Go watch this. It's on YouTube for free. Just search Furious 1984 and watch the first one that comes up. I guarantee you,
hour 11 minutes.
It's not the greatest rip, but whoever. Media Time Network, shout out.
I would imagine it's the best.
Thank you for uploading this movie for free. I mean, it has ads if you don't have premium. I know. A podcast on YouTube doesn't have premium. Yeah, so sue me. I don't want to fucking pay for it. Okay.
There's too much shit to pay for.
But anyway, thank you for Media Time Network, whoever you are, for uploading this about a year ago.
But yeah, you can. It's on there. So if you're a fucking lizard like us,
yeah,
go watch it.
I actually really for the weirdest way possible, but I really liked this movie.
This was the weirdest fucking thing I have seen in a very long time.
Now,
very long time.
Is it a good movie? Absolutely not. Hell no. But
is it ambitious?
Yes. And you know what?
Go there.
I think that matters more than if it's a good movie.
Yeah, listen.
Because you know what? They tried something, and I don't know if they accomplished what their original vision was, but they tried.
They did a thing.
But yeah, anyway, let's get into it. So, first things first, we have a woman being chased on like a hiking trail by what is supposed to be
half of this movie is filmed on this hiking trail.
Yeah, so we didn't know at first, but they're supposed to be Mongolian assassins, I guess.
Take from that what you will.
But it's just a bunch of white dudes in like fur costumes.
Yes.
And they're just
one of them keeps
yelling random shit. Like one of them sounds like, what was that? The kid's name off of Wild Thornberrys?
Oh Jesus!
Oh, the feral child. I can't remember his name.
Well, the feral child grew up and was in this movie, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you have the main guy who just kind of growls a lot. And they're chasing.
Somebody's like,
and they're chasing this woman who has it's like a horn.
Well, and she's using it kind of like a compass because she'll like place it in the palm of her hand and it moves around.
Yeah. And they're all chasing her, so they're climbing up this like.
Well, she finds like
mountainside.
She climbs up this mountainside and you see like a skull next to like a red box.
A little red box.
And she's still trying to find out. She fights him on top of this mountain, and then
knocks a few of them off. Fights the main one who just growls like a dog.
It's really weird because she knocks like 2 of them off. There was only 3 chasing her.
That we see, yes.
But she knocks 2 of them off, and then the same dudes come in and like attack her again. So I'm just like, were those the same dudes or were they? I'm guessing they were supposed to be different, but they're not.
I think they're supposed to be different.
I think they are, but. This game has, this movie has very like video game qualities to it, where it's like, you know how video games will repeat the same like enemies over and over again.
I was gonna say it has video game qualities in that. In video games, like fighting games, when you hit somebody, they're like stunned for like a few seconds, so you can go do whatever you want. And this follows that logic.
Well, that and like the same like enemy NPCs, like where it's like
they recycle characters.
And then it also, like you're right. Some of the fight scenes are very video game-esque because they're obviously choreographed.
People get like hit.
Like it's blatant.
They kind of like do that thing where they like hit and they kind of like
stand there. It's like a stun lock, yeah.
They like shake. They're like stun locked, so you can kick their ass, and it's like a video game.
Yeah,
it's adorable.
Or like in video games when you have like when your character has like a certain move set. Like when you press a bunch of buttons at the same time, it has a certain moveset. That's kind of what it looks like on screen on some of these fight scenes too, where they have very specific movesets, and the enemies react a very specific way to those movesets.
Like it's programmed.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But maybe that's the whole astral pain side of this too. Maybe it's meta. Maybe they came from the astral plane.
I think that's the
just kidding.
The lizard brains aspect of making this.
Yes.
Madness.
Well, yeah. This is a crew that had literally never fucking directed a single goddamn movie in their entire lives.
You cannot imply that. How dare you?
So anyway,
there's 2 directors, sir.
Yeah, 2 fucking people had to direct this fucking movie
and write it.
And it's an hour and 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
2 directors made this, and thank God for them. Okay.
They should like remaster this in 4K and.
I would totally go to theaters
right now.
Yeah.
Right. Fucking. Now.
This is the movie we need.
This is the blockbuster we need.
Yes. So anyway, then we get like our guy.
Well, don't forget they fucking kill her.
Right, yeah, because like they get the upper hand and they kill her.
The guy kills her and he takes her
her little horn,
her little compass horn.
Yeah.
And then we get a guy who just wants to fucking sleep.
Well, he's like all sad because you see pictures of her.
Yeah, he's like lighting candles.
And you get
for her,
and you get the idea that like she's really important to him, like a sister, basically.
Yeah.
Which in the movie it is his sister, so you figure that out later. But it very important, I guess, plot point because this is what starts making him furious.
He lives in like the woods.
Yeah.
At like a fucking camp where he just teaches children to fight, and he just wants to sleep. So he lights the candles for his sister, mourns her.
Yeah.
Lays in bed. Kid knocks on his door.
Well, yeah, immediately, and then he like gets up and he like
kid like by the way, this whole like first 12
Oh
minutes.
yeah, first 12 minutes, no dialogue, zero dialogue.
Like he opens the door.
Well, I swear to God, in the first 15 minutes, there's literally one word spoken.
Yeah, and the word is all right.
All right.
But the kid, like, you know, he like tugs his shirt and he just kind of like waves his hand, like no, closes the door, lays back down. Kid runs and grabs 4 more kids, and like a fucking plant, and then knocks on the door again.
Yeah.
And you know they do the thing. He tugs on his shirt and he's like, okay. So he goes and teaches them.
Well, he kind of teaches them, but like you can tell
He hits a punching bag
enough to make it knock off like the
because
chain.
He's furious.
So then he tries to go back in
to
and sleep. And then all the kids.
You get a POV of somebody walking through the kids. And then knock knock. And it's the fucking guy. It's the guy who killed his sister.
It's a Mongolian guy.
White Mongolian man.
Yeah, the very blatantly white Mongolian.
He gives him a little card. Oh, by the way, we should also mention that the opening credits are set to magic tricks.
Yeah, they're like card magic tricks,
which we will see.
Yeah.
But the guy gives him a card and like leaves, and then we're like, okay, I don't fucking know what the fuck. And then next thing, it's like it's like these guys in a dojo training, fighting, and then there's a young old man. Which
again, we get another young old man.
This is like the 10th movie.
It's the martial arts trope that we keep running into.
Where you have like the old... It's always the villain, too. It's always the villain. It's always the villain who's like the old master, but because like old men can't move like young men, they cast a young actor and then you dye his hair gray.
Yes, and his eyebrows.
And his eyebrows. So we have young old man.
So some of them go a little further and put wrinkles on them, but this one didn't.
The only one I remember was there was one we watched where they didn't put wrinkles, but they put like baby powder on their face.
Oh yeah,
remember that?
Yeah,
and they just kind of looked very white.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, but in this one, no, it's just hair.
Yeah,
like, he's like watching these guys fight, and then he just says, "All right."
And
then it keeps going. We hear like a fucking Star Trek door sound. Remember this shit?
Yeah, and then the Mongolian like walks in,
and at this point we're just like, what? They're like, are they teleporting? What the fuck is happening?
I had no idea because it makes some weird ass sci-fi sound.
Yeah,
and
we're just like, what the fuck is going on? And the guy walks in, and I don't
even know what they like. I guess like.
They talk
silently? Yeah, they talk. You don't really know what's going on.
And then
And then the guy, our main guy, comes to the fucking...
It's like an office building.
I don't even know how he knew to go to the office building. But it is hilarious because if you've ever seen Dude, Where's My Car, you'll know these fucking henchmen look like the Zoltan people.
Because they're wearing like all white jumpsuits and sunglasses. And they stand there.
Well, they're not wearing like the bubble wrap, but like they are wearing.
It might as well be the fucking bubble wrap.
Seriously. Well, and like instead of a Z, they do like how they do the Zoltan, you know, with the Z.
They do an X.
They do an X across their chest, and it's the two guards, and they're always just like have an X. Sometimes they'll have guns, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll have little pew-pew laser guns.
I was gonna say, they have a little pew-pew pistol that they never use.
They never use in the entire movie, but at a certain point they do get pistols that they still don't use.
That they don't fucking use, but they still do the X.
But he just like he walks up.
Oh, he has the card.
So they let him in, and he
it's a key card.
He goes in, and then he talks
and then it makes the sci-fi noise again.
Well, the master is like, you need to like,
Hello, master.
Like, your journey starts with this, and it's like they do it.
He's like, I know your sister died.
They do a bunch of magic tricks with a fucking necklace.
Because he's like, I know your sister died because she had otherworldly debts or some shit, and he's like, yeah, you have a journey now.
Well, and it's funny because like the Grand Master or whatever has like a henchman and that is doing a bunch of magic tricks.
That's all he does is magic tricks.
I mean, little did we know that he's actually a sorcerer, but
We'll get there.
we'll get there.
It's not
That's a
beyond,
journey in itself.
it's not beyond the scope of the movie.
Yeah. But yes, you heard that right. He is a sorcerer. So
And he gives him like a little necklace with like a Asian font on it.
well, it's like it's
And you have to look for people who have these.
right. So I don't know how, but he goes to.
forget.
Oh no, sorry, no. He goes out, and then his friends meet up with him.
How dare you?
What?
How dare you forget the fact that the master this whole time is floating.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Sitting Indian style.
I
and
do.
Floating.
I
and
do
he's
love
kind
this.
of like-
I do love this effect because he's obviously sitting on a very like thin board or something.
and he keeps wiggling.
And he keeps wiggling like he's losing his balance, but they still show it.
Listen,
Yeah,
when you have $5 to make a movie, well,
yeah.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You just get a really strong, tiny metal beam that can support a human, and then have him sit on it and awkwardly wiggle
as
on it
uncomfortable as it is.
right up the ass.
And our guy leaves. He sees a woman, and just kind of like walks up to her,
And then like two guys come up from behind.
and they start fighting. And then you find out, oh, it's his friends.
Don't get too attached to these people though.
No,
'Cause-
and he's like, well, don't forget, he shows one of them. He's like, have you seen this symbol?
It's like, yeah, that's the one on the restaurant.
And then go to the restaurant.
When they're looking in the window, it's closed. They're looking in the window. The woman's like taking a bunch of pictures everywhere.
Yeah, she has like a little like mini like fucking Polaroid thing. Just keeps taking pictures, and then like this truck pulls up with these dudes and chickens.
They're like holding crates of chickens, which will make sense later.
And then they like see them all hanging, like just kind of loitering
Well,
around. The
I
restaurant.
love how they like smack the girl's like camera out, and they're like they shove one guy, and they're like,
Well, they were like,
they're
yeah,
like,
they're
the
like,
restaurant's closed. Come back later.
get out of here, no pictures, like all this shit. And then we start fighting, and it's just absolute fucking childish madness.
There's like guys on the roof like throwing ninja stars and shooting people
yeah,
from
there's a
the.
chef that halfway through runs out and kills one of the guy's friends with it.
This is why I said don't get attached to the friends,
all
because
die.
literally 5 minutes after you meet them, they all die.
They all die. Like even
One gets
the guy gets stabbed.
one
The
guy
other
gets
one-
beat to death with a fucking nunchuck.
Wrong. He gets beat to death through editing, because you remember that.
But
No. This is how they film it. This is how they film it. They have a close up of the guy like nunchucking the camera, and then you remember this.
Yeah.
They have a weird close up of the guy's like arm getting like smacked.
Yeah.
With a nunchuck. Mm-hmm. And it repeats this for like 100 times.
and then
the
he's
guy
laying
just,
on the ground
he's on the
bloodied.
ground, like covered in blood, and I'm just like, okay.
When I love it because the guy like the main guy gives no fucks that his friends are just dying around him, because he even takes the chef's knife out of the fucking
throws it.
dead friend, throws it at the guy on the roof. The guy falls. There's another knife lodged in like someone else, and he takes that and throws it at the other guy shooting.
He doesn't care until it's like the fight's over and all the henchmen run away.
Well, I love they're running away and they shoot, and like he's like dodging bullets, and then the fucking
last
the
friend.
fucking girl gets shot too.
The last friend. Yeah, she gets shot and she's like dying, and now he's like angry. I don't even.
So what? Okay, so
my
what?
God, what
What?
the
I
fuck
know he
happened?
comes back to the restaurant, but I can't remember what happens in between that.
Well, I legitimately
Does he
do
go
not
back-
fucking remember.
Does he go back to his house and then get attacked by that guy again?
Oh, the fucking.
'Cause
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He goes.
He
back
goes
to,
back, and the Mongolian comes back.
Yeah, he goes back to his house, and again, I swear to God, he tries to get some fucking sleep again.
And then, like, someone knocks on his door, and he opens it, and it's the Mongolian guy, but instead of giving him a card, he gives him a fucking ass whooping.
They attack, and then they have like they run into like a fucking field, and they have a fight. The Mongolian has like these like scythes that he pulls out,
do.
and he disarms him in like 2 seconds.
Okay, but it happened. There's two like favorite scenes in this fight scene: the pocket sand And the weird thing where he gets freaked out, the guy put two sides together and rubs
so
them.
after he grabs after the Mongolian dude loses the sides, like our guy grabs them and like puts them together and kind of.
Well, he puts like one on the ground and then like crosses them
it.
and then like pulls one back, and the Mongolian gets so scared that
he runs away.
He fucking hightails it out of there for no, like the dude just rubbed two sides together. He did. I don't. The guy was like, "Oh shit!"
It's so fucking funny because he just fucking runs like a little baby.
It like reminds me of like, I can't remember what comic it is, but like there's like an internet comic where it's like there's two boxers, and like one of the boxers starts doing like Kamehame, and then like the guy's in an interview, he's like listen, I know I lost the fight, but I just didn't want to fuck around and find out if he actually could do that. So it's like kind of like that, where it's like the guy puts two sides together, and the Mongolian has no idea what the guy's gonna do.
Nope.
He's like, nope. You know what? I'm good. I don't want to fucking around and find out.
He just runs away, like a fucking idiot, and then eventually the guy catches up to him, and like he just like fucking knocks him over into the grass.
And he's getting on top of him to like punch him, and the guy
sees he has the same necklace, but the guy pocket sands him. And then runs away as our guy just sits there for 2 minutes, like wiping his eyes off. Then he goes back to the restaurant, which is now open.
Yes, and this is so. If you watch this movie, you'll notice that they do a lot of like thing where it's like the main guy reacting to things or watching things, and they'll cut to him, cut to whatever he's looking at, cut to him, cut to whatever he's looking at, cut to him, and they do this like over and over and over for like.
Well,
ad nauseum.
They're building tension.
Yeah, but what tension?
The tension of what insanity you're about to witness.
Well, because I love this restaurant because it's a bunch of old women eating
chicken wings, and there's a dude. There's a dude doing a fucking martial arts demonstration
with nunchucks and then swords,
and a magician wearing like a fucking like Oni mask.
Yes. For whatever reason.
And in the meantime, it's our guy with this comically huge restaurant menu just sitting in front of him.
Just peering over it.
With his eyeballs over, just like sideways glancing at these old women eating chicken wings. And a dude doing magic tricks. And the fucking guy doing...
Well, and then eventually the guy doing magic tricks goes in back and grabs this like insanely large platter. And starts bringing it up to our main dude.
It's like, oh boy.
And he sets it down, and I'm like, is it the heads of his friend? Tell me it's the at least a head under there. And he lifts it up, and it's like the heads of his two friends. And
but it's not, Will. It's a magic trick.
I love the reaction though, because it's just like him for like 2 minutes just being
They repeat the same scream. And then we see it's just a magic trick.
It's like, two chickens.
It's just two fucking chickens. And then
the guy like tips over the table and starts getting attacked by like everyone.
Yeah, he beats everybody up. Like even fucking kills like the fucking.
He kills the Mongolian.
The whole fucking mini Mongolian army shows up.
Yeah, all three of them.
All of them. Kills the guy, and then the Grandmaster just pops in out of nowhere.
Well, I love how he jumps in like he's going to fight, but everyone's already defeated at that point.
Yeah. Everyone's defeated. You know, he grabs the guy's, like, necklace with the fucking thing, and then it's like... Do they run out? Is this where they go to the fucking beach?
Yeah, where he's like, hey, you must come with me, Simon. You must come with me.
Yeah, so they run out of the restaurant, and they go to a beach.
One night...
He tells them... Like, your mission is done.
Your mission is done. This isn't you. You need to go back to your life of peace.
Like, it's like you got the person who killed you.
And they're standing...
standing right next to each other.
This is literally my favorite scene in the entire movie.
The scene is gold.
Love this fucking scene. So they're standing right next to each other, and he's like, "You must go home, Simon. You must go home." And then like it shows like a wide shot of Simon just standing there alone, and then it cuts to the Grandmaster standing like just looking over the ocean
a little bit farther.
And he's like, "You must go home, Simon." And it shows Simon's like standing alone, and then it cuts back, and the Grandmaster just a little bit farther. It's like, "You must go home." And then it shows Simon again, and then the Grandmaster like a little bit farther. "You must go home."
until he's like so fucking far.
And it's like you must go home. You must go home, Simon.
So fucking great,
dude. Like
I
you
lost my
have to
shit.
watch this shit for yourself. I broke me. Like that scene literally broke me.
I think the next scene broke us too, because then he goes back and it's like this. We saw this area earlier. It's like a little waterfall that has a tiny little baby Buddha statue,
Well, yeah, he like goes to pray with it, and it like kind of talks to him,
and it keeps saying,
like Simon, you must. I
his
must
name?
warn you.
"Chan is evil."
Chan is evil, and the script must be insane for this because it's literally Chan is evil, evil, evil. Chan is evil,
And it keeps,
evil.
and the guy's
Chan
like,
is evil.
don't forget, he's like sitting there like writhing around.
Yeah.
And we keep getting like
Well, shots of like stuff that's yet to come. Like
we get flashbacks, flash forwards.
Well, 'cause
like,
we get-
flash sideways.
we get like scenes of like the kids invading
Yeah.
the building. We get him like his friends dying. We get like
scenes that we saw, but he didn't see.
Yeah.
Like Simon training like his henchmen.
yeah,
And like
Chan,
the magician. And like we get all this shit, and then eventually he snaps out of it and is like,
They repeat Chan is evil. I shit you not, like at least 50 times.
well, hey, the baby Buddha got his back. Okay.
Yeah, because the baby Buddha produces two sides that are used in one fucking scene in this movie.
He does. He gives him two sides that he turns into
A grappling
hook. Because
So
he goes back to the fucking Zoltan office.
to break in, but he doesn't have the key card this time, so he uses the two sides tied together as a grappling hook.
So he breaks in, and he like sneaks in, and like he hears.
Well, Chan is like
bitching.
He took all my men, like all my henchmen are dead. We need our strongest warriors. We need to take him out. And then like they're like, bring in the weak ones, and they
He's like, we have to show an example.
they have to bring him in. And the sorcerer, I shit you not, this happens, turns them into chickens.
Which is where you figure out
That they're sourcing the restaurant by turning
People into
henchmen
chickens.
into chickens.
that's why the old ladies, the grannies, were eating chicken wings.
Yes.
This happens.
Yep. This is actually in the movie.
And then Simon is horrified by this, so he leaves, and then he goes
He
and
just bails.
grabs his kids.
Yeah, so he has this master plan that he's gonna recruit the kids to annoy the guards,
To tickle them,
to tickle them and like
so he can get in.
wade them off, even though literally when they come back out, the guards are still there. But anyway,
But it's fine.
so the kids like annoy the guards and like kind of like I guess they're fighting them, but they're really not because the kids are like.
Is this? I think we're skipping ahead because he.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I'm
because
sorry.
When he jumps out of there,
Yeah,
he runs into. Oh my god!
the guy with the dog.
He runs into the guy with the dog. We forgot the whole thing with the bridge too.
Yeah, duh.
So he runs into the guy with the dog, and Simon is so badass.
Well, this whole scene leads up to the scene with the
Yeah.
bridge, so.
But Simon is so badass. The guard dog just runs away.
He takes a pose and the guard dog runs away.
And don't forget, we have a man doing
the
dog
voiceover.
voice. It's literally a man screaming into a microphone. And then, he fights them. He fights a bunch of fucking henchmen. He eventually runs
Oh,
back
this is
to-
also where we have the alarm because they're fighting, and the two. So you forgot about that. It's your favorite part. The band.
The band. So first of all, we get a scene of like them fighting, and it's like, and we get like one guard who's asleep.
And one guard who's reading like a comic strip.
He's reading like,
It's like it looks like a pamphlet.
it looks like a fucking pamphlet, but I don't know if they're.
It has like a comic on one side.
But they're like, I don't know if they're doing like a joke. They're supposed to be like so fucking like hot or something, like as if, because normally in a movie like this, you'd have the guard reading like a fucking Playboy or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he's like reading it, and then he eventually looks over, sees the camera, hits the alarm.
And then everyone in the building is alerted that they're fighting. So they all start running out.
We get like,
Well, so some of
editing
them
in this is so insane.
some of them hear the alarm.
Yes.
But there's two groups that don't. One is
It's like
it's like a band playing like it's like I don't even
It's the world's most insane chiptune song.
Like, it's a chiptune song, but, like, one of them is, like, jumping around with a guitar. And
Well, they're all going insane. Like, we have one who's jumping around with a guitar. We have the guy on, like,
the keyboard is, like, slamming on it, and then one guy's just, like, playing the drums all
they're
randomly.
in, like, this weird fucking room. And then they're just... Well, here's what's weird. It's like, it's cutting through all these things, and then we get, like, these 3-second snippets of these guys with the fucking neener, 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 neener music, and I'm just like, what? And then eventually they hear it,
Yeah.
and then they run out too.
So they all run out to get this guy. He, like, runs into the woods.
He fights them in the woods on this, like, river. Eventually, he gets on to this, like, he kicks all their asses.
The bridge scene is incredible.
He gets onto this, like, hiking bridge thing. And my favorite is that first of all, half of them, he doesn't even fight them. He just looks at them, and they willingly kill themselves.
They just jump off
They just
the fucking bridge.
themselves.
Like, they don't even care. It's just like...
It's like he put in a fucking cheat code. Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like you would in a video game. Like, oh, for fuck's sake.
And then, like, a guy with nunchucks, like, he defeats a guy with a knife and takes the knife, and then the guy with nunchucks comes up and, like pulls them across, and the guy just cuts the cord and then kicks him off the bridge.
And the nunchuck guy's like, oh, what the fuck? And kicks him off, and
He just kills everybody.
He kills everybody.
And this is when...
He gets another piece of the, like, necklace.
Because he kills the guy with the dog.
Yeah.
And then and this is when he goes back and recruits the kids to annoy the guards.
So he annoys the guards
because he's trying to get into Chan to defeat him.
So they annoy the guards. He gets in the building. He gets in the dojo, and we see the magician. He does the same laugh over and over. He's just standing there doing like weird.
He's doing the same hand motions, and then he even says, like, at one point he says, "Foolish mortal."
Yeah, foolish mortal. Like it's a fucking Power Rangers.
But he like keeps like blasting like fire out of his finger, and then the chicken will pop out.
Yeah, so he's throwing chickens at
I just love this because what they'll do is they'll blast the fire like it's coming out of his finger, and then they'll just chuck a fucking chicken at the main actor.
At the actor.
They just like fucking toss a chicken at the actor.
So there's just chickens wandering around this dojo in the meantime, and like the guy just keeps getting closer and closer and closer to him, and I'm just like, what the fuck is gonna happen?
Main dude's backed up to a mirror, and he ducks as soon as like the magician,
the magic fingers come out.
Magic fingers come out, and the fucking sorceress turns himself into a pig.
I swear to God, we oh my God,
I can't make this shit up. The sorcerer literally turns himself into a pig.
We get a fucking shot where I swear to God, it's some fucking poor sap, like. First of all, they dress this pig up in a gi, and it's some fucking guy holding it up in front of a mirror.
Poor pig,
like pretending like it's the guy standing there.
They knock it to the ground.
He kicks it, and then the pig starts talking. You know that old ass show, Mr. Ed or whatever the fuck. With the horse, where they would put peanut butter in its mouth.
Yeah, to make him talk.
Well, guess what?
They do that same trick here.
The pig is on the ground, like
tricks of the trade, okay?
It's the fucking guy.
But I love it. But see, in Mr. Ed, they filmed it where you couldn't see the peanut butter in the horse's mouth. But in this movie, they didn't fucking care about that because you can clearly see the peanut butter in the pig's mouth. And it's like just smacking its lips while this guy's doing a voiceover. The
voiceover is so weird because the guy's like, "You've defeated me,"
and then he's like, "Chan is evil. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna rewatch this scene because I want to like make sure I wasn't hearing things. But he's like, he's evil. He knows how to use everything. He even used fast food franchises." Well, he used corporations and
fast food. I was like,
fast food chains to get what he wanted.
Am I hearing?
You were not, because that's what he said.
I need to listen to that scene again because I swear to
A
God,
pig.
I was losing my shit. But yeah, he keeps monologuing and tells Mike, you have to defeat him.
And then, I guess, dies from being a pig.
He's like, I am no longer... Like, he dies from being a pig.
He turns himself into a pig and then dies.
There's no reason.
What a way to go out.
Unless, like, Simon fucking punched his pig form so hard. My favorite is, so he dies, right? Simon gets the last piece of the necklace, and I love this. I love the wide shots because it's just the pig laying there in this fucking man-sized gi. It's like a little mini
It
pig.
looks so fucking dumb.
It's so fucking incredible.
Oh my god, I love this movie. Oh, the fucking sorceress pig.
The fucking pig man, and he's dead. So, oh my god.
So he goes into Chan's office, and Chan's like floating again, and he's, like, the guy's like, I've come to kill you. And like Chan takes all his necklaces and is he's like,
I
now
will get to the astral plane.
Now I have the power to possess the astral plane.
And then they fight, and then, he knocks him down, and, like, we get the fucking scene where Chan just teleports through the rafters, remember?
Oh, yeah, he just, like, everywhere that Simon looks, like, Chan's, like, on the fucking, like, rafters. And then at one point, he's, like, chilling, and he's, like, laughing.
Yeah, he's doing, like, a fucking Playboy pose. And then, like, they fight, and then there's a part where he fucking knocks Simon out, and you see Simon's head hit the ground, like, 10 fucking times.
They're like, look at how cool this scene is of this actor just falling on the ground.
Like when you watch like Van Damme movies, they do that thing where they like repeat a really cool kick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 3 times, 4 times, maybe. Well, no, fuck that. In this, we just get his head hitting the ground like 10 times.
It reminded me of those like viral videos or like TikToks where they have like a certain sound effect and they'll use that to make like the beat of a song.
Yeah.
Like it's like just him getting knocked down.
And then he's just knocked out, and then my favorite you just see fucking Chan just book it out of the office as the fucking Zoltans just stand there doing the X.
And he jumps into the sky.
And we're just like...
And we're like, okay.
And then Simon wakes up.
Well, Simon like looks around to see if Chan's still there.
Yeah, if he's about to punch him again.
Gets up, and he has the horn.
He has the horn.
Or the tusk. I think they called it tusk.
The tusk, yeah.
But
and he runs out, knocks out the Zoltans, and then next thing we see is fucking Chan is
just
flying
through the air.
He's just flying through the air looking for the
box.
The box and the skull. So, Simon, like, somehow he gets back to this, like, mountain area.
Well, he's like, he's using the horn to tell him where he is.
So he's climbing up this mountain, and, like, Chan's up there. He's putting the necklace together. It makes a circle. And then he puts the circle, because he opens the chest, and there's, like, a little peg. So he puts the circle on the peg.
When he, like, lifts up the box, and it's, like, a magic trick box. And
it's
so, like,
fake.
the sides fall out.
And you see the sister laughing at him.
But, like, not... Oh, my God. Because they show this for way too long again, because she's just like...
Yeah.
And it's, like, this, like, projected image on the mountains.
Yeah.
And, like, she's, like, you can see they captured it for so long that the actor starts, like, smiling because she's, like, laughing.
Yeah.
She's actually, like thinking it's funny for how long they're staying on her character. And, like, it just looks so stupid.
Because eventually Simon finally gets up there and they start fighting. They keep fighting and it keeps cutting to, like, firecrackers exploding, remember?
Yeah.
Next to the box.
Well, because, like, the whole box is, like, exploding. And then...
They get zapped.
Into the astral plane.
Where it turns into fucking Dragon Ball Z.
Well, because they keep flying at each other and, like, every punch is, like, an explosion.
Like, they, like, fly... And it's like this explosion, and then eventually Simon starts punching a fucking dragon
with like a skeleton in his mouth. Like
that's on their I swear, I'm still baffled at the fact that they had like this animatronic dragon on screen for like maybe 3 seconds.
Like not even enough time to fully comprehend
process it.
what you're like looking at.
Yeah, you don't even have time to like realize what the fuck's happening because it's just like it just keeps cutting between explosions and like smoke effects and like laughing and shit, and then eventually they get zapped out.
I will never understand the next scene. I don't get the fucking like helicopter shot where like you just hear a bunch of people laughing.
Yeah, so they're fighting and it's like a helicopter shot that goes on for like a minute of just them on this like top of this mountain fighting, and there's like all this cackling.
Like from who? I have no idea.
And then eventually, Simon gets the upper hand, knocks him out. He like tumbles down the mountain and is next to like the chest and the skeleton.
And he's like, no,
she's taking something or whatever. And
because like in the astral plane, he was like, she's zapping my powers.
Yeah, and then like, but now he's like in the real world, and she's like, you see her like
dragging him to hell or something.
You see her like tugging on.
Well, because the box is like on fire now,
and you see her. It's like she's like tugging on an invisible.
Well, she's
rope.
like miming someone pulling down a rope.
And then he's like screaming, and eventually like she tugs him out of existence, I guess. Because
he like combusts into flames and then turns into a skeleton.
A skeleton that's on fire.
Yeah.
And then Simon just leaves and goes back to his child fighting camp and bows at the camera.
Like directly at the camera.
Thank you, Simon.
And it says almost the end.
And then we get the band.
The band playing for no reason
While we do the credits of the cast.
Yeah, well, but it shows the cast member. It'll show it like alive and doing something cool, and then immediately dead.
Yeah. Except for obviously.
Except for all the friends, one of the friends they show
dead,
and then it shows his name, and then it shows him dead.
Yes, he was not respected.
No,
I guess. But yeah, and then it's like we get the band just going fucking bananas, and they go through the cast, and then the actual credits roll.
Yeah,
that
was
furious.
Holy shit. Holy shit. I cannot I still am having a hard time comprehending everything I just saw. It's a wild movie. It's wild.
They did it.
And it's like
sometimes you just watch some shit that you're just like,
it is so goddamn entertaining though.
You just watch it and you're like, damn, they really they followed through.
Well, and
this insanity.
This is another thing where it's like they just didn't give a fuck. They're like, they're like, this plot's ridiculous and fucking insane. Let's just fucking do it.
Yeah, they had like $5 and they were like, we want to make a fucking martial arts movie that's like about like fucking astral planes and sorcerers and shit.
And then like Steve in the back said like, oh, I want a dragon in it, and they're like, cool, Steve, let's fucking add that.
And then one of them's like, oh, listen, my uncle owns the Chinese restaurant. And then another one of them's like, oh, listen, my dad works at the office.
I noticed at the Chinese restaurant they eat a lot of chicken. How about we have a plot where the evil guy has a sorcerer that turns all the bad henchmen into chickens.
Hell yeah. I know the dude who works at the farmer's market. I can get chickens for us.
And then get this. He'll turn himself into a pig.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And give a bunch of exposition for no fucking reason.
About fast food and corporations. I can't.
Oh my god, dude.
This is...
Oh my god.
We talk about this a lot, like where we watch like some insane movie and we're just like, this feels like children made it.
It feels like an 11-year-old that was obsessed with martial arts movies and like sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah, sci-fi fantasy, and they spent a lot of time at the arcade.
Yes.
And they just...
That's what it feels like. It really just feels like a fever dream. Like if you were like 11 and obsessed with martial arts movies, martial arts games, and sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah, like you watch like Star Wars, so you have to have like, like the chosen one and the master and all this shit. You got to put that in there.
There has to be a sorcerer that has magical powers.
Yeah,
even though he mostly just
throws
does
fire.
He just does fucking magic tricks for most of the movie until the scene where he turns himself into a fucking pig.
Exposition pig. My favorite Exposition character is Exposition Pig from now on.
Exposition peanut butter pig. Best character ever.
Every movie.
It is so adorable. I can't stop thinking about the little tiny fucking pig in the full size.
And the fucking grown man geek. Just laying there eating peanut butter.
That and the fucking beach scene. Go home, Simon.
Go
Go
home,
home. And farther and farther away. Just go home.
Well, don't forget, there's another bit of insanity is when he goes back to the Buddha statue, and he stands there staring at it, and he like sideways stares at it. Then we see the Buddha statue from far away. Goes back to him staring at it. The camera is closer to the Buddha statue. Cut back. He's still staring at it. The camera's even closer to the Buddha statue. Like, it just keeps doing that thing.
Well, they do that so much in this movie. It was like...
And every time, it becomes fucking comical.
Well, normally it would be really fucking annoying, but for some reason in this movie...
It's fucking hilarious.
It's fucking genius.
I don't know. It's like everything about it, like the weird... Every fight scene in this is hilarious because it's like these, like, baby sound effects and with, like, fucking, like... elevator music that's on like 10% volume. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
The lowest setting, like you can kind of hear it.
It's like so quiet. It's like it might as well not even be there. But the fact that it is there, and then every time there's a lull from the fucking baby, like, you just like, you're just like, it just fucking makes me laugh every time.
Like, go fucking, like, if you haven't watched this movie yet, go watch it, like, just to see the scenes. That sorcerer scene and the fucking go home scene I will live rent free in my brain for quite a while.
It's incredible. I think it's those and the restaurant scene. The restaurant scene is such a fucking like bit of just insanity.
Just grannies eating chicken.
My favorite is, I swear to God, there's multiple shots of the grannies eating chicken peacefully with like him like screaming in the background, and it's just like they just overlaid like the audio of him screaming over like someone's fucking grandparents eating chicken
it's
wings.
Also really awkward because it's like they have this huge fucking camera just shoved in this grandma's face and she looks so awkward, like,
because it's literally just someone's granny.
They just shoved a giant fucking camera in her face and told her to eat chicken.
Yeah, she's like, well, yeah, sure. You know, I'll do anything for my grandson. My grandson's weird-ass movie about like, fucking sorcerers.
Okay, all you gotta do in this scene, just eat your chicken.
Just eat chicken.
As they have this fucking giant fucking mounted camera and a fucking close-up.
And in the background, we're gonna have a guy.
A shirtless dude doing a fucking
swords and nunchucks.
Martial arts.
And there's gonna be a guy doing magic tricks to a little kid. And I want you to just eat chicken and look happy. And they're like, oh, okay. Okay, little Johnny. I gotta, you know, you are interrupting my bridge game for this, but okay.
All right, I'll eat your fucking chicken. All right. Oh, dude, how would you fucking shitty to pretty? Like,
dude, I don't even know how to.
We're going on like entertainment value alone, which we usually do.
I always say entertainment value. Yes.
I'd go like a fucking 8 or a 9, to be honest. Like, not that it's a good movie, like it's not, but like. That fucking plot,
I have to give it a 9.
Like, dude, it's just so enjoyable. Like,
because it is so entertaining, and again, it's only an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't waste your time. It's literally like you could watch this in like very easily. An hour and 11 minutes is not a lot to ask for, and like, it's just so entertaining to make fun of it. It's fucking hilarious.
Every scene brings a new bit of insanity.
Yes. Absolutely.
This is like, I say this a lot, but this movie, this is one of those movies. This is why we made the podcast.
Yeah, to watch this kind of shit.
Is so that we can come across things like this that we never, ever, ever would have come across before. Because I'm not joking. There is no way in fucking hell I would have ever come across this shit if I didn't have to seek this kind of stuff out.
If I didn't have to seek this out, I would never come across this. And if I did, I might have turned it off.
That's the thing, is like there would be no reason to watch it, because you'd look it up and you'd see it's got like a 4 on IMDb. The plot makes no fucking sense. Fuck it, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah.
But,
well, and then you see the first like fucking like 12 minutes have no fucking dialogue whatsoever, and it's really fucking weird and stupid. Like,
I don't know. I think the lack of dialogue in the beginning
it kind of works in a way.
Bold.
It's weird, but it works. Like, I don't usually say that, but like they convey a lot without dialogue.
Well, you just sit there watching it and you're just like, wait a minute, no one's talking.
But you understand what's going on, which is the weird part.
And then someone says, all right.
And there's very little, I will say there's very little dialogue in this entire movie.
In general, there is extremely little dialogue. Like, there's still scene after scene in this movie where
no one talks.
says a fucking word.
Literally no one talks.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not counting like screaming.
His friends don't even really talk to him. They don't talk or like do anything.
They just say like, he just says like, hey, do you know the symbol?
They say the restaurant, and then they go to the restaurant and they don't talk.
Not really. I mean, people just kind of shove them around and yeah.
Like the henchmen say, get out of here, our restaurant's closed, and then start murdering all his friends.
Because that's what you do when,
When you have patrons of a restaurant and they come before your... I mean, I'm sure some wait staff would probably want to do that, but, I digress.
Yeah.
That might be something like a fantasy server has,
to
but
just
like
violently murder everybody like that.
They're like, hey, get out of here, we're closed. And just start fucking going.
Just throwing ninja stars and axes around. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. This movie's fair. It's reasonable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is definitely a contender for like best the worst already.
Yeah, seriously.
It's gonna be hard to top this one.
We got a lot.
We got a lot to go, but like this is a seriously contender. Like I don't think I'll forget about this movie for a while. So
it's impossible to.
Yeah. So Furious, 1984. We're here, and it started good.
It started great, man.
Yeah, that's about it. I think.
That's it.
For They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all later.
Bye.
Go
home.
Gee pig.
Exposition pig.
Peanut butter exposition pig.